Thank you for joining us and welcome to tonight's webinar. Today's topic is how to estimate a renovation. For your questions, please type them in the chat box and that will be addressed after the presentation. To those who are in Facebook, please enter your questions in the comment section. And now, without further ado, here's our host, Mr. Yan Lam.
All right, thank you very much, Connie, and appreciate the warm introduction. And welcome to tonight's webinar. Tonight's topic is going to be how to estimate renovation. We do a separate topic, a different topic every single night until we complete the full life cycle of the real estate investor. All right. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Nhan Lam. I'm the founder of Fortune Home. I've been doing real estate investing for over 11 years now. And for the past 11 years, we've had some great success in multiple divisions of real estate. And we started off part time. I was a full time engineer with the federal government as a contractor. I worked a real estate business for about 2.5 years part time. And within 2.5 years part time, replaced my full time job and have been doing real estate ever since then. I'm the father of five beautiful children, and of course we have several pets in the house as well, and have provided an incredible lifestyle for them to be able to be there at all these school events and all the things that we do for them along the way. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get into this. And this is one of actually my favorites and most important topics, is because I truly believe that as a busy person, like I am or I was, I had a full time job. I was raising a family. I need to be effective and efficient by utilizing a system that maximizes my time. I want to be able to accomplish more with less effort. Okay. And one of the skills you can learn today will help you be able to accomplish much more with less effort. So let's get right into it. Okay. First of all, why is this skill important? Well, if you do an analysis without ever leaving your home, you can make offers on houses without ever seeing it. All right. And you can also do this part time, like I did, or else in your spare time while still working your full time job. You also don't want to go to every single property with a contractor to get a estimate and then burn them out to a point to where they don't want to work with you anymore because they think you're not serious. All right. And you also want to focus on high value activities. Okay. So there's what we call busy work, and then there's the high value activities that actually creates the results that you want. Okay. Anyone can be busy. My question up, are you doing the right activity to get you the results that you truly want? All right. And you can also, in addition to that, make sure that when you do get a real contractor's estimate, that the estimate is fair and it's reasonable, because there are always good people and bad people in every industry. And this is especially true in the contracting industry. I can tell you guys, I've had several estimates a lot of times for the same exact scope of work, and it's like night and day. One person will be at this amount, one person will be at this amount for the same exact scope, and there's no rhyme or reason to why this will far off. Okay. So what you want to do is make sure that you have your skill set here. So when they give you a number, then it's not too far off. In addition to that, is that you also want to use this as a marketing tool in case you're doing wholesales. So if you're wholesaling, then obviously what you want to do is provide an ARV for the property, provide an asking price, and also create a renovation estimate based on the size of the house. So that way you can throw out there to your buyers list, say, hey, the ARV is this amount, the asking price is this amount, and by the way, the renovation is only about $20,000 or $30,000, and from that you'll be able to make some money as a fix and flip deal. So you can use that as a marketing tool as well. All right. So how do you analyze a property? All right. Um, and there's some people here speaking. I believe Cora Young, is there a sound? Yes, we are speaking right now, so I'm not sure if there's an audio problem. You definitely want to turn on that speaker to make sure that you have no audio problems there. Okay. All right. Excuse me. So required on the property is that when you want to get some information about the property from public records, such as tax records, to include the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, total square footage of the house, total unfinished square footage of the house, to see if you want to be able to finish a basement or finish some unfinished space in the house to make it more valuable. You also want to see if there's what year was it built, and then if it was ever updated since the house was built, and get an idea of the floor plan layout. So you definitely want to go ahead and get the required information here that allows you to do the analysis. You want to do the bedrooms, the number of bathrooms. All of this stuff here is available on public records in every county. If you're doing business in Northern Virginia, you have a Prince William County tax website, a Fairfax County tax website, Loudoun County, Fairfax City, Falls Church City, and so forth. Okay. It will also tell you the total square footage, whether it be finished or unfinished of the house, and then also give you the year built of the house. The year built is important because then you have an idea of how much work you'll need. Because houses built in 1990s obviously need less work than houses built in the 1950s. All right, and also if the house was ever updated, that would be helpful as well. Floor plan layout, that would be nice to know if the house is a maze like back in the 50s, or if there's an open concept floor plan already in place that's functional to today's standard. And a lot of times, there's a lot of public pictures from prior listings on Zillow or Redfin or HomeSnap, or anything out there that you can get hands on with the public pictures. That'll be helpful for you to get an idea of what we need to do with the actual property. All right. Most of all this stuff here, again, can be found on the public records. And also, you want to think of yourself, what is the exit strategy for your analysis? Okay. Are you going to be renting it out? Are you going to be selling it, like fix and flip? Or are you going to be wholesaling it to an end buyer? Okay. What is your exit strategy? And once you have an exit strategy down, you'll be able to know exactly what you need to negotiate your price to based on the renovation estimate. Now, when you're renovating a house, all right, there's two ways to do it. One is rental grade and one is resale grade. Rental grade is very obvious. You do it the bare minimum so to be able to make it livable for a tenant. All right, but you don't want to put too expensive stuff in there because tenants tend to not take care of them like they were the owner. But if you're going to resell it as a fix and flip and sell it to a new owner, then a new owner would expect higher class things and better materials, so that way you can sell that house for top dollar. So if you take a look at materials, all right, from a kitchen cabinet standpoint, the rental grade stuff would be a standard white, a very cheap looking cabinet. Okay, resale grade, it could be a custom design with upgraded hardware. It could be with soft closed drawers and a lot of other things that makes it more attractive to the end buyer. Countertops, if it's rental grade, it's okay to have Corian or Formica countertops. Those are cheap and easy to install. But if you're going to sell it, then you want to consider either granite, marble, or maybe even quartz if you're in the right neighborhood that calls for quartz. Okay. Appliances, rental grade, white or black appliances are fine. Resale grade, you want something more luxurious, something of the stainless steel or even the black stainless steel to make it look much more luxurious. Flooring, all right, rental grade, laminate or standard carpet's fine. Resale grade, you definitely want to use hardwood, ceramic tile, or some kind of engineered wood to make it look more classy. Plumbing fixtures and so forth, standard versus brushed nickel and bronze. Bathroom showers, you can use a standard mold or a custom tile design, all right, for resale grade. So let me show you a couple of pictures of what I mean, okay? Here's a typical rental property that looks like condo garden style of a kitchen that's very small, probably about 10 by 12 or so. But you'll see here there's a very cheap cabinet, very cheap knobs. The countertops are not granite, not stone, or nothing that fancy like that. It is not a deep sink. It's just a regular sink, and most likely there's probably not a garbage disposal unit because garbage disposal is the first thing that tenants call maintenance for because that stuff always gets messed up by tenants who don't know what they're doing. You also notice that the appliances are white and they're the cheaper version and it's not too expensive. So that's what a rental grade kitchen would look like. Not too expensive, not too fancy, just do enough for that way a tenant can move in and live there and pay you rent on a monthly basis. Now, for a resale grade, here's a kitchen we did very recently. This is in Northwest DC. As you can see here, the kitchen is like night and day. You have quartz countertops that goes over the island to be like a waterfall, and then you have the design of the cabinets to have some see-through, and then you have some hard doors as well. So this house is in DC, and there's no dining room. And the reason why we installed the glass see-through is because that's a perfect place to show off the owner's china. So a tea set or some dishes, some expensive silverware, things like that can go in there, and you see right through it. All right. Since there's no dining room, you can't put a china anywhere, so that's the best place to put all your dishes to show them off. All right, and then the rest of it are just cabinets, lazy susans, drawers, and so forth, and it makes it look very custom. You also notice that the cabinets on the island with the countertops on the other end where the bar stools are, you'll see that it's more grayish compared to white. So the gray is contrasting with the white cabinets and makes it look more fancy. It doesn't cost much to do, but it makes it look much better. And this house in particular sold for above list price. Okay, so every house that we put cabinets like this in has sold above list price just because of its design and the way it looks. Okay, you also notice that the hardwood here is engineered wood, is white plank, and make it looks very fancy. The appliances are stainless steel, and you'll notice this is the Bosch brand, so it's a little bit more higher end. And that was called for that because this house was sold close to $1 million, so we had to put some higher brand stuff in there. Okay, here's another angle of the same exact kitchen. You'll see the dishwasher on one side, and then you see the microwave on the island side as well. And you notice that the gray cabinets on the kitchen side where the island is. Okay, and then from a different angle on the other side, you'll see the pendant lights, and then you see how it kind of shines and blends in with the backsplash, contrasting with the wood floors. Okay, and that's the combination of what a kitchen looks like from rental grade versus resale grade. Okay, so let's look at the bathrooms now. So here's a bathroom that we did at a rental property, and you can see here it's a plastic mold, nothing too fancy. Okay, the plastic mold is not expensive at all. It's very standard hardware, standard vanity, standard toilet. Okay, so not too hard at all. It's a rental grade property, And then with regards to the resale bathroom, all right, like 90 a day, you'll see here there's custom tile design. You'll see a very nice vanity with a nice countertop. All right, upgraded mirrors, upgraded lighting fixtures, and you see there's a rain shower head on top. It's not against the wall, but it's a rain shower head. It doesn't cost much to do, but it looks more fancy and looks more high end. And then you have a glass shower door as well to blend in. So very nice. And you notice the very finer details. The drain is a square drain. It's not a circle drain. The square drain, again, doesn't cost much more to do, but it makes it look more fancy. It matches with the square, the shower head on top, and also the square dish, the soap dish rack on the wall as well. So everything in here in this kitchen is rectangle or square, and it all matches very well by the shape. Now, the only thing we couldn't do is we couldn't have a square toilet because that wouldn't make sense. Okay, the only thing that's curved in here is the actual toilet. Everything else is of a square or rectangular shape. Okay, so now knowing the differences between rental grade and resale grade on what you need to do for your exit strategy, let's take a look now on how you can estimate a renovation without ever going to the property. Okay, first, if you're going to a property where you may be renting it out and you're doing the bare bone minimum and you're only fixing what's broken, all right, then $17 per square foot. Now, the square foot means the area of the house that you're working in. So if there's 1,000 square feet on the main level and then 1,000 square feet in the basement, that's 2,000 total square feet. All right. Now, if the basement is unfinished and you're choosing not to work in the basement at all, then you wouldn't want to include the square footage of the basement since you're not working in that space anyways. All right. So you want to only include the square footage of the space where you are working in. All right. So simple rehab, all right, is basically, this is the rehab model, okay, level. It's when you completely remodel the home with everything brand new in the same exact location, meaning that you're not moving plumbing, you're not moving electrical, you're not replacing an electrical panel, you're not doing anything of that sort that requires movement of plumbing, electrical, or mechanical stuff. All right. This also includes one big ticket item. It could be an HVAC or it could be a roof. Okay. And also could include windows as well, but only one of these three. Now, if all three of those, windows, roofing, and HVAC, all need to be changed, then your estimate will most likely increase. But more likely than not, a simple rehab will only require you to replace one of those big ticket items to include in this estimate here. So a rental grade, if you're going to be doing a rental grade type deal, is $26 per square foot. If you're doing a resale grade, it's $37 per square foot. And yes, this includes the price increases of materials and labor for the past year or so. Okay, so these are numbers that we use today. Okay, so for example, if you're doing a fix and flip deal and you have 2,000 total square feet of space you need to work on, then you take $2,000 and multiply by $37 per square foot. And what you'll have is roughly $77,000 and change of what your renovation estimate will be to do that project as a simple rehab. Okay. If it's a rental grade, you take the 2,000 square foot, multiply by $26, and you end up with 50 some $1,000 of total as a total for that renovation project. You're going to do a rental grade property project. Okay. So the next level of rehab is what I call a minor rehab. All right. A minor rehab includes everything in the simple rehab, but it also includes a few things like moving some walls, doing some minor electrical and plumbing that allow things to be relocated. So, for example, if the stove does not make sense and where it is today in the today's standard, you got to move the stove somewhere else. All right. Or maybe right now the house is not open concept. You need to remove a couple of walls to make it open concept. So that way it sees through to the family room or dining room. So that way it looks a lot bigger. If the dishwasher doesn't doesn't make sense in the current location, you gotta move it. Refrigerator, same thing. All right. So anything that doesn't make sense in its current location, you can move it, and this allows for that budget. Rental grade, $39 a square foot. Resale grade, $52 per square foot. Okay. And then we have a major rehab. Major rehab is when you're doing everything under the minor rehab, but also includes some major floor plan changes, which includes replacing most of the electrical wiring and plumbing, and also adding a few more things, which also includes replacing the electrical panel. You might have to do a heavy up. All right, and allows you to relocate a lot of things to make it more sense. Okay, I've seen some houses where the kitchens are in the basement; they need to move to the main level. All right, I've seen some houses where the bathrooms is in a weird hallway that you had to squeeze through. It doesn't pass code today. Maybe it did about 100 years ago, but not today. All that stuff needs to be relocated, okay, to make sure that it functions today's standard. So for rental grade, $54 a square foot. Resale grade, $69 per square foot. All right. So here's a couple of pictures of what a simple rehab looks like as an example. So here you have a kitchen. You'll see a dishwasher and the sink next to each other. Then you see the stove and the range hood on the opposite side with the refrigerator. Okay. So very old, cheap cabinets that were done probably in the 80s. All right. And you see mixed matching appliances. You see the range hood and also dishwasher is cream color. Then you see the stove and the refrigerator is white. So you got mixed match appliances all over the place here. So same as that kitchen. All right, that's what it looks like after their simple rehab. You'll notice that the refrigerator is in the same exact spot, the stove and microwave is in the same exact spot, and the dishwasher is also in the same exact spot. All right. You'll notice here that there is a bar stool area with pendant lights because there, where that stool is right now, there was a wall there before. But because it wasn't a big wall, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't structural or anything like that. So it's easy to remove it and install a new cabinet. So it was considered still a simple rehab. All right. So here's an example of a minor rehab. Here's when you have a 10 by 10 kitchen. You notice things doesn't make sense. I have no idea how they did this, but you notice there's a sink right above the dishwasher. How did that work? I have no idea how that worked. Okay. You also have the stove right by the a door. That also doesn't function well. All right. So again, this stuff may have worked 50, 60 years ago, but today it just doesn't function. Okay. So what we had to do was that this, and by the way, this is what the house looks like on the outside. It's a Rambler out in Arlington. So what we had to do was knock down one of the walls on the other side to be able to expand the kitchen into a different space. All right. So if y'all go back and slide real quick, you see what this green add-on is on the left side of the house. That was a workshop area for the previous owner. What we did was we knocked down the wall between the kitchen into that space to be able to build a bigger kitchen in that workshop area. Okay, so we opened it up, reframed everything, and you notice here in just that picture, there is no plumbing, there is no electrical yet. So over time, as the construction project moved on, we had to run the electrical, we had to run the plumbing, and also the mechanical HVAC ductwork into that space, so that way it had everything we needed for the actual kitchen. Okay, so going to the finished product, you see the back here. All right, we also redid the siding and also the roof. All right, so that's what the new kitchen looks like now. It's a bigger class kitchen. In this neighborhood, they call for traditional cabinets and stainless steel appliances, and that's what we installed, and that's what it looks like today. After all that work was done, we installed ceramic tiles. We had installed a tile backsplash with custom cabinets and also some stainless steel appliances to make it look really nice. All right. So now let's talk about a major rehab example. Okay. So in a major rehab, here's a house that was built in 1910 in Northeast DC. All right. Funny thing, on the surface looks fine, right? You had nice stainless steel appliances, decent cabinets, and everything. But no, this house was built in 1910, and we have to account for that. Okay. Even though it looks good on the surface, there's a lot of stuff wrong behind the walls because the house is so old. When we did demolition of the hardwood, what we found out is that the floor joists at the bottom were all rotted. And that explains why when we walked on it, everything looks like it was moving around. It was very puffy. The floor would go, was squished down a lot. The plywood was squished down as well. And then just the floor moved a lot. All right. In addition to that, when we removed all the cabinets and everything, and also the flooring, we found out that there's a random fireplace that was in the way that we didn't even know about. The fireplace was actually covered up by drywall and sheetrock, and we didn't know it was behind the wall. So guess what? It made no sense for it to be there. We had to remove that chimney and also that fireplace as well. All right. And then as we did further work on it, you see here the floor choice on the other side rotted to the bone. It was either termite damage or water damage over time, but obviously those things cannot structurally hold up a structure anymore and would need to be replaced. Okay. To add insult to injury, after we removed the floor joists, we found a big old crack in the foundation. So you see that big old crack right there, which needs to be jacked up and then re-solidified with footers and rebar, so that way the foundation would hold long over time. Okay. So we had to remove everything. This is a major rehab, major floor plan change. Okay. Everything was gutted to the bare bones except for the wall. And you notice here, we had to rebuild everything and hold everything up to hold up the structure while we're building the inside of it from the inside out. Okay. Install new floor joists, install new plywood, 2x4s, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, everything. You name it, we did it. And the end product is that here it is. We have the kitchen, we have the hardwood floors that was installed. All right. And so forth. So that was an example of a major rehab, and we would not have known all those things we had to do until we opened up the walls. All right. But because we knew the house was built in 1910, we knew that there's going to be more than meets the eyes. So when we negotiated it as such. Okay. So the age of the house is very important because you want to account for things to replace, assuming the worst case scenario. Even though it looks good on the surface, you don't know what's behind the wall. You want to make sure you do your analysis as such. Okay. Now, what I want to do now, guys, those are examples of a simple, of a minor, and also a major rehab for fix and flip. What I want to do now is there's a quick video here that's about 9 or 10 minutes long that actually shows you the renovation project of an actual rental property. Okay. So Irel or Connie, if you can, please go ahead and pull up that YouTube video, and we'll go ahead and play that so that way the audience can get an idea of what a rental grade construction looks like. And once the video is done, I'll come back for questions, and then we'll go from there. So Irel, please go ahead. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, share my video, like my video, and hit the bell. Another day, another property. Today, I'll be going to a property that's not owned by us, but owned by one of our buy and hold colleagues who've been investing in real estate for the past 10 years. They hired our construction crew to make the house rent ready again because their tenants of 8 years recently moved out and they want to rent it out again to new tenants, and obviously the house will need some work done to make it ready for new tenants again. Okay, if you're already a paid subscriber to Nhan Lam Academy, real investors with real numbers and real videos in real life. Okay, these are not fluff and puff type deals. Register now. If you are, please come join me as I drive to this property to show you exactly what we're doing in the scope of the project. Okay. Ready to join me? Let's go. Newsflash, we have our own construction team. A construction team designed for investors by investors. I tell you guys, real estate investors have the toughest time getting their own contractors to do the right thing for the right price. Generally, the typical contractors always want to mark up the price so they can maximize their profit, never thinking that they work with someone regularly and get volume properties. They will make a lot more money by working with investors than just regular homeowners. Okay, so our construction team's tagline is that our team is designed for real estate investors and not homeowners. So we're actually going to a property right now where one of my colleagues who've been investing in real estate for the last 10 years had a rental property where the tenants vacated recently and they need to fix it up again to make it rent ready for another tenant. We gave them a wonderful estimate for investors at the investors discount, and we're actually going to go to the property right now to check on the status of that property to see how things are going. Most of the scope of work is just paint and carpet, but we're going to take a look to see how it looks and to show you the progress of the project itself, to show you exactly what a experienced investor would do to rent out the property again after a tenant's been living there for the past 8 years or so. Okay, so we're at this property right now. My colleague has owned it for the past 10 years. They had a tenant living in there for about 8 years and moved out recently, and she wants to rent it out again. So we are doing a rental grade renovation with our construction team. So come on into the property. I am going to wear my mask for safety reasons, and we're going to take a look at what they're doing inside to make it rental ready again, okay? So come on in. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty safe here. I'm gonna take off my mask so that way you guys can hear me clear. But I'm in the living room right now. As you can see, the floor is covered in the cloth here, so that way when they paint, it's not going to hit the hardwood floors that's underneath it. The hardwood floor is actually still in great condition, so we're not going to do anything to it whatsoever. We're going to protect it, but the drywall definitely needed help. We're patching up all the holes that were in the wall. They've removed all of the plates from the outlets and also the switches, so that way they didn't paint over the switches and outlet plates, all right? And basically they patch up the holes, they sand it, and then they're going to prime the walls, and then they're going to paint the walls with an agreeable gray color that's very neutral for the actual rental property, okay? So there's gentlemen here working. They'll be working in the background. They're enjoying their music while they're working. It's good to work and have fun at the same time, right? So I don't have a problem with that, as long as they're doing the right things, which they are. And we've been having this crew work with us for many, many years, and we're really excited to have them stay on our team here. So with regards to the ceiling here, because it is a rental property, we're not installing any recessed lights for the owner. We're just going to repaint it with the ceiling white paint to make it look nice again, okay? And note, guys, that the wall is going to be a flat paint, whereas when they paint the baseboards and any kind of wood trims, it's going to be a semi-gloss satin white color, okay? So remember, drywall will always use regular flat paint, and then trims, baseboards, chair rails, and anything like that will be semi-gloss, so that way it pops out and looks shiny. So we're in the kitchen right now, and the kitchen cabinets are in great condition, which is why we wrapped them in plastic to protect them from the painting. The countertop looks in good condition as well, along with the appliances. This needs a couple of pieces of hardware and a thorough cleaning once everything's done, and we're good to go to rent it out to another tenant. So we've already seen the main level, so we're gonna go upstairs right now to take a look at the bedrooms and also the bathroom, so please come join me, okay? Okay, so we're upstairs, we're now in the master bedroom, okay? Now you notice here, the carpet is not covered in the cloth protecting it. Now, the reason why we're not covering the carpet and protecting it is because we're replacing it anyways. So there's no point in protecting something that we're gonna haul away and throw away. So they've already painted the ceilings here, they've patched up the walls, okay? And once they finish painting here, then they're gonna go downstairs and start painting the main level and also the basement, but at the same time, our carpet crew is going to come up here to haul away the carpet and start putting down new padding and new carpet while they're painting downstairs. This is called good management. See, what we want to do is plan out how to work things in different crews in parallel instead of in series. What I mean by that is being able to do more than one thing at the same time. And this requires careful project management and careful planning, so that way a project that should take 2 weeks should take only 2 weeks and not overrun on the actual budget and also the time it takes to finish the project. So that's going to be very important in our construction company, is to the ability to manage it properly so that way it finishes quickly. Okay, so we're in the master bathroom now, and most of the stuff in here are in great condition. So that's why there's cloth here covering the floor, there's plastic covering the sink and also parts of the toilet and also the tub. All we're doing here right now is we're painting, and once the paint is done, we're going to finish caulking all around the bathtub, re-caulking the toilet, and also changing the guts of the toilet because it was making some noises and leaking water inside. But the toilet itself is good. Doesn't cost that much to replace the stuff, okay? So this is just what you call being smart as an investor and a contractor. Most contractors will recommend you change the entire toilet so they can charge you extra. But me as an investor, I don't want to spend money where I don't have to, right? We We gotta be smart with our money, smart with our investment. So changing out the guts is much cheaper, obviously, than changing out the entire toilet. Now, the toilet itself is only $100, but to remove it and install a new one in, and then hauling away the old one is where the major costs are. Whereas if you average can, we're good to go, okay? So there's not much construction material being thrown away there, which saves us a lot of money as an investor. So as an experienced investor myself, I want to pass on these savings to other investors so that way they can have more volume and be more successful as a fix and flipper and also a buy and hold investor. Okay, so we're done with the top level now. We're gonna go downstairs to the basement to see what that looks like, okay? So come join me. Okay, so we're in the basement right now, and I noticed here that there's a couple of dome lights and also some drop tiles as well. Now, as a rental property,